Have you ever felt like the world is spinning too fast? Like you're constantly running but never quite catching up? You're not alone. We're living in what many call the age of anxiety, an era defined by haste, pressure, and an overwhelming fear of the unknown. We're more connected than ever, yet we often feel more isolated. We have access to endless information, yet we struggle to find true peace. It's a paradox that leaves many of us feeling drained, stressed, and searching for an anchor in a stormy sea. This constant state of alert, this hurry sickness, isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's deeply affecting our mental health. We're bombarded with curated images of perfection, creating a relentless pressure to perform, to succeed, to be happy all the time. But what if the solution isn't to run faster, but to stop, breathe, and look at things from a completely different perspective? Let's step back in time, about 2,000 years. Imagine the world Jesus lived in. It wasn't a peaceful paradise. It was a time of immense social and political turmoil, oppression, and uncertainty. Yet, amidst all that chaos, he demonstrated a remarkable and profound sense of peace. He was never in a rush. He moved with purpose, not panic. His mind was a fortress of tranquility. The psychiatrist and author Augusto Cury, in his brilliant analysis, suggests that Jesus possessed the most fascinating and healthy mind in history. He managed his thoughts with incredible mastery. He didn't allow external pressures to dictate his internal state. Think about it. When faced with criticism, betrayal, and immense physical and emotional pain, his response was not one of reactive anxiety, but of conscious, deliberate peace. So the big question is, how did he do it? And more importantly, how can we, in our hyper-accelerated 21st century lives, learn from his example to manage our own minds and find that same peace? This isn't about dogma. It's about practical spirituality. It's about learning to cultivate what we might call the mind of Christ. Let's explore the first key principle: managing your thoughts. Jesus was a master at what we now call mindfulness and cognitive reframing. He understood that our thoughts are the seeds of our emotions. He taught, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." This wasn't a call to be irresponsible. It was a profound psychological directive to live in the present moment. Most of our anxiety comes from what-if scenarios. What if I fail the exam? What if I lose my job? What if they don't like me? We spend so much energy living in a future that hasn't happened and may never happen. Jesus' technique was to interrupt this cycle. He would often retreat to a quiet place to pray and reconnect with his source of peace. This was his way of hitting the reset button, of clearing the mental clutter that accumulates throughout the day. We can apply this directly. When you feel that wave of anxiety building, stop. Take a deep breath. Acknowledge the anxious thought, but don't let it take over. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this worry productive? Is there anything I can do about this right now? If not, consciously choose to release it. This practice of detaching from anxious thoughts, of doubting your doubts, is the first step toward building a resilient mind. The second principle is finding value in the small things and nurturing your inner world. Our society screams that our value is tied to our achievements, our possessions, our online presence. Jesus' life offers a radical counter-narrative. He found profound joy and meaning in simple human connections, in nature, in acts of kindness. He noticed the lilies of the field and the birds of the air. He spent time with people from all walks of life, offering them his full, undivided attention. He was never too busy for a child, a grieving parent, or someone seeking wisdom. He understood that true wealth isn't external. It's internal. It's the richness of your character, the depth of your compassion, the peace in your heart. This is what he called the peace the world cannot give. It's a peace that doesn't depend on your circumstances. It's not the absence of problems, but the presence of a deep, unshakable calm in the midst of them. How do we cultivate this? Start by practicing gratitude for the small, everyday moments. The taste of your morning coffee, a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a stranger. Unplug from the constant stream of digital noise and plug into the real world around you. Practice active listening. When someone is talking to you, put your phone away and give them your full presence. These small shifts reorient your focus from what you lack to what you have, from external validation to internal contentment. Finally, let's talk about the power of empathy and service. A huge source of modern anxiety is self-absorption. We get trapped in our own heads, endlessly replaying our fears and insecurities. Jesus' entire ministry was focused outward. He was constantly looking for ways to serve, to heal, to uplift others. He washed his disciples' feet, a radical act of humility that turned the concept of leadership on its head. There's a deep psychological truth here. When you focus on helping someone else, your own problems tend to shrink in comparison. Empathy pulls you out of your own head and connects you to the shared human experience. It reminds you that you're part of something larger than yourself. This doesn't mean you should ignore your own needs, but it does mean that one of the most powerful antidotes to anxiety is to be of service. Volunteering, helping a neighbor, or simply offering a listening ear to a friend in need can dramatically shift your mental state. It replaces feelings of helplessness with a sense of purpose and agency. It builds community and reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles. This outward focus, this compassionate action, was central to the tranquility Jesus embodied. So, to recap these powerful, practical, spiritual tools. First, manage your thoughts. Learn to observe them without judgment and live in the present moment. Second, nurture your inner world. Find value in simplicity, practice gratitude, and disconnect from the noise to reconnect with what truly matters. And third, focus outward. Practice empathy and find purpose in serving others. These aren't quick fixes. They are practices, disciplines to be cultivated over time. Building a mind like Christ's, a mind that is resilient, peaceful, and purposeful, is a journey, not a destination. It's about training your mind to find peace not when the storm passes, but while the storm is raging. It is about discovering that unshakable peace that the world, with all its haste and anxiety, simply cannot give. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. I hope it has given you some practical tools and a new perspective on managing the anxieties of our time. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content on finding peace and purpose in our modern world. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Stay well and be kind to your mind.